Hello, guys. My name is Desmond, and I welcome you to my lesson for today, where we'll be looking at your mathematics. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do allow me to say it is very much important that I say it is very, very much important because what I'm about to say, it's massively important, ladies and gentlemen. A day without learning something new, it's a day wasted. Diddy, please do make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, Tandi, make sure that you learn something new. Just a confirmation, are you guys okay that side? Can you clearly be able to see over there? And again, can you clearly hear me when I speak? Is it not breaking? Can someone say something from your side?
Yes, I can hear you and you can see.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in that case, without any waste of time, this is the type of question that we'll be looking at. Let me quickly write down over there to say this is a solve for x and y, namely simultaneous equation, or otherwise here they are saying simultaneously. So just to make sure that I've copied it correctly, let me quickly do this. So this question, Pantupakiti, I got it from that combo that I sent in the group. So we'll just be going through each question to make sure that we try and work them out. So let's see, we are having 2y plus x, it's equals to 1. X squared plus y squared plus 3xy plus y is equals to 0. Okay, so this is the question that we'll be looking at. Most importantly, remember guys, what we call a masterclass is a lesson where almost every one in their specific grades attend. A reason to that, it is because solving for x simultaneously is what you'll be doing in grade 10, 11, and 12. So it's a common chapter whereby it puts you in a better position to be able to know all the mistakes associated with that particular type of a problem. So based on what I explained yesterday, I said normally with this type of questions, you are given two equations. Most importantly, you need to be aware that you've got two types of equations, one being linear, the other being quadratic. As you can see over there, you are having linear there and you are having a quadratic there. So we use a linear equation to derive equation number 3. So between these two, obviously, this is the one which is a linear equation. So we can make x the subject of the formula. Most importantly, guys, as I'm writing or working out that problem, make sure that you also work it out from your side so that in case if I make a mistake, you will notice. And most importantly, guys, when I do these lessons, I pray by all means that I make mistakes. And reason to that is because the coolies, I want to be the one making those mistakes in this lesson so that when you are in exam, you don't repeat the mistakes that I've made. And also, you'll remember all the mistakes associated with this type of problem. So let's see. Let's make x the subject of the formula, meaning we want to just have a letter on the left side and transpose everything. In this case, we're having 2y. We take it to the other side. It changes a sign. It becomes minus 2y. So that's how you derive equation number 3. Why did you do that? It's because you wanted to take this equation number 3 and substitute it into equation number 2. So it's more like if you used equation number 2 to derive equation number 3, you were going to take this equation number 3 and substitute it into that equation that you did not touch. So let's see. It might be a lengthy calculation by the look of things. Let's see. We obviously need to take this and substitute it there where we see x. So this is where we are having x. So we substitute that. Obviously, there is a square over there. Plus, this one is just a y squared. We are only substituting where we see x. In this case, where you are having 3 xy. Most importantly, Bantu Bagiti, just be careful not to write it that way. And you say y, no, 1 minus 2y. At the same time, just attach that to that and write it as 3y into whatever the x value is. Meaning, in this case, what we are going to have is 3y into 1 minus 2y close plus y, it's equals to that 0. So all that we have done, it was just to correctly substitute into that other equation. Before I go deeper, are we all on the same page, or is there someone who's got a question before I continue?
So, hello?
Okay. I had something like a no. Okay, in that case, let's continue. So now, at all the times, Mr. Zain, a squared simply means 2 of the same thing. What is that same thing? This is what we are having. So once you have substituted, remember guys, at all the times in mathematics, once you have substituted, the second or the first step, you need to look at where you are having the brackets. That's your starting point. So now we are just going to write everything else as it is, but only focus on where the brackets are. So there, can you see, we had to write that as 2 of the same thing. Here, this is where you say that times that and that times that. Please, please, please make sure that you perform this calculation on your side so that you can notice if I make a mistake, because when it comes to simultaneous equation, it is not that much complicated or tricky. The only challenging part is when you have to perform the calculations, because it's easy to make a mistake. So let's see. What is 3y times 1? It is just 3y. What is 3y times a negative 2y? I think the sign is a negative, and then 2 times 3, what is that? It's 6. Remember, it becomes y squared because it's 2 y's. This one, you just write it as it is. Why? Because you are only focusing on where you are having the brackets. So now, what do we do? If you remember, I said mathematically, you firstly focus on where you are having the brackets. So it seems like we are going to remove those brackets, and we still have some like terms that we can work out. But for now, let's try work out this part. So if you say that times that, what are you having? 1 times 1 is 1. This is what I'm doing. That times that, it is obviously negative 2y. What is this times that? Still negative 2y. What is that times that? The sign is positive, and then obviously 2 times 2 is 4, and then you're having y squared over there. Okay, so now maybe this part, let's straight away work it out. Can you see you are having 6y squared that you can work out with negative, you're having y squared that you can work out with negative 6y squared. What is that? I think it's negative 5 y squared. And then now let's see what else we're having. That you can work it out with that. It is obviously what is it? 4y, which is equals to 0. Then you look at that and you ask yourself a question. Can you still work out this thing. Do you have like terms? Yes, it seems like we do. Where are they? So you can see maybe let's firstly start with those so that we have it in the standard form. 4 minus 5 on a calculator, it gives you negative 1. Then it's an invisible 1 squared. Let's see, we've worked out that. Maybe let's focus on the y's. Then we are having negative 2y minus 2y plus 4. I think they cancel each other out, because if you punch on a calculator, negative 2y, it's negative 4y. When you plus it with that, they cancel each other out. So that means you are remaining with what is that? This ones we have worked them out. We just remain with that one, which is a positive 1, and this is equals to 0. So remember, you need to have it in the standard form where you need to be having a positive a value over there, meaning you are either going to say you divide everything by negative 1, or you just change the sign of each term. So that means you're having positive there, you change this one is negative 1, and then 0. Whether you write it as negative 0 or positive 0, it is just 0. Maybe before I go deep, are we still together there, or am I losing you guys? Are you sure I'm not losing you guys there?
Ask the question.
Yebo.
Yes, sir.
So how did we change the positive 1 into a negative 1?
How did I change that positive into negative? Nay, this is the one that you're referring to.
Yes, sir.
Who's speaking? Katleho. Okay, let's see. So if you remember, for any quadratic equation to be in the standard form, it has to have a positive a value. So at your school, they might say you divide by negative 1. There's an invisible 1 there. So if you divide by negative 1, you also divide by negative 1. You also divide this one by negative 1. That negative 1 cancels with that one, you remain with y squared. If you say positive 1 divided by negative 1, that's when it gives you negative 1, and then this is equals to that also, it just gives you a 0. So that's if you say you are going to divide each term by negative. But what I know is that when you have a negative there, you can either say you divide by a negative, or you just change the sign of every term on the equation, meaning this term, it was a positive term, it was a negative term, you just write it as positive term. This one, it's a positive, you change it to a negative 1. This is also 0. Whether it's negative or positive, it is just 0. So this is the reason why a beginning of this year, on our very first lesson, I emphasized that in maths we're dealing with the signs, numbers, and letters. That was because every time when I talk about the sign, you just think of a plus, minus, multiplication, division. So those are the signs, some of the signs that you can think of. So in this case, that is how you change that negative sign. I'm not sure, Katlego, if you are satisfied that side. Did it make sense?
Thank you. Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay. But wait,
Yeah.
Yebo. I'm just not sure if that was a yes or no. But I wanted to
Sir,
check if you guys, Yebo,
sir,
Yebo.
from the first, yes, if you just brought down 1 and then you were left with 1 minus y squared equals to 0.
Wait, honorable member, can you come again so that I write what you're saying there?
So do you see this long equation?
That one, this one, ne?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you first put it down 1 because it didn't have anything to sum
Oh,
with.
yes, yes, one. Mm-hmm.
Yes, then when we solve the rest of the thing, it was going to be negative y squared. minus y
Yes.
squared equals to 0.
Yes. Equals to 0. Yes.
Is there any
Okay.
difference?
No. No difference. Aguna mihluko. The reason to that, let me give a practical example. 2 minus 4, maybe let's say it's equals to maybe t for Tabi. I don't want to say 0 because it's not equals to 0. Do you agree, Tabi, that this thing, it is the same as negative 4 plus 2? It is still the same as t. It's just the repositioning of those numbers. I'm just not sure if maybe you get me there, the Tabis. Does it make sense?
Yes, yeah, I understand. Yes, sir.
Yes. So it's more like 2 times 4. It is the same as 4 times 2. This one, it's not that much complicated, but this one, the tricky part is you knowing that this sign, it is for 4, and the sign for 2, it is invisible positive there. So that's why I was saying the tab is very much important that we try by all means to do these types of problems differently, so that when you get to exam, you don't ask yourself that question and not sure how to answer that same question. So, okay, now, can you guys see that we are having that? Remember, Bantu Bagiti, the moment you see a letter to the power of 2, it doesn't matter whether it is equated to 0. This is a quadratic equation just because of that. So if also it's y squared minus, let's say y is equals to 0. Because of that, it is a quadratic equation. Even if it's y squared minus 1, it's equals to 0. Because of that, it's not that it has to be like that, where maybe we have 2y and then a constant there, then only when it's like that, you will say it's a quadratic. What makes an equation to be a quadratic? It is a letter to the power of 2. Someone said the highest degree is 2, meaning letter to the power of 2, and the other letters maybe is to the power of 1. So now let's see. We now need to try and factorize that. I think this one is very, very much easy to factorize, because obviously you are having y on both sides, and then obviously you have 1, 1. This is where you are going to have a plus sign and a minus sign. This type of a problem is very much easy to factorize. You can still use a quadratic formula to factorize that. But here comes a question. Someone might be saying, what is your A value? What is your B value? What is your C value? So if I had to rewrite that in the normal standard way, it's more like it's y squared plus 0y, no, not a plus, but minus 1, it's equals to 0. So can you see 0y? It's actually nothing, but it is just there so that you are able to notice that your A value, it is that invisible 1. Your B value, it is equals to 0. Your C value, it's equals to negative 1. So that means on your quadratic formula, when you substitute, remember that your B value, it is a 0. It's going to give you final answers where you get a positive 1 and a negative 1. From there, it's easy. You just say y is equals to, this is the one that you equate it to 0, and then you transpose y is equals to negative 1, or y is equals to positive 1. That's after you equated this to 0, then you transpose, it changes a sign. It's not yet done, but before I continue, are you sure you guys are following? Are you sure that you are not lost?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Zain.
I'll say. No, so far so good. They see, man.
Oh, so far so okay. Anyone who's got a
So far
question?
so good. So after the steps, boss, you're gonna take the third formula, ne?
Yes.
That's fine. That's
The
fine.
next step, it is now to solve. for y. Remember, Bantu Bagiti, the question or instruction said solve for x and y. So that means in the end, you need to tell the actual value of x and y. But at this moment, we only calculated the y values. Why are we having two values? It's because we are dealing with a quadratic equation. So now we need to take those answers, substitute it into equation 3 in order to calculate the x values. That means, what are we going to do? X it's equals to 1 minus 2 y. What is our y? We can start with this y value of negative 1. Then you punch all of that on your calculator. What are you getting? I think you're getting this is 2 plus 1 is 3. That one is to be 3. Or you do the same for this value of a positive y, meaning you're having 1 minus 2 into your y, which is positive in this case. So I'm thinking this is 1 times that. Let me try to do these. Okay, so I was saying I noticed I had a bit of a challenge regarding the network, but I was saying before I re-explain, can someone just confirm if all is clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so guys, this is basically how you solve for x and y simultaneously. Remember, guys, just make sure that you ask me as many questions as possible, because sometime towards the end of this week, I will be testing you guys on what we've covered up to this point. Once I'm satisfied, then we'll be moving to our next chapter, being sequences and series. So just make sure that you don't allow me to continue without you fully understanding what we've covered up to this point. For those who discovered my lessons either yesterday or today, in case if it's your first lesson today, I've recorded some of the previous lessons. You can still catch up. The links are in this same group. Otherwise, you can drop an inbox and I'll connect you to my YouTube channel where you can catch up from the lesson that we did on the 2nd of this month, just so that you can participate in the test that we do. So, guys, I'm removing all of this and we move to another question.
Sir,
Someone's
I
got
have
a
a
question.
question.
Yebo, Denzi, that is the question. Denzi, Denzo. Denzi. Remember to unmute your mic, honorable member. I'm not sure if Denzi is still there, but while she gets her
Yes, sir, I'm
connection in
around.
order, can you come again, Denzi? I only heard, am I wrong?
No, sir, you okay, you okay. Everything is okay.
Yeah, so Have you got a question? Are you sorted? Are you okay that side?
I'm okay, sir. It's just the network that at times it doesn't go well, but otherwise I do understand like the things that you'll be doing.
Okay, I thought you had a question, but if all is good from your side, then we continue. Do you
Okay,
then
sir.
allow
May
me
I
to
ask?
continue? Yes.
Yes,
Sir,
sir, I do.
Okay. Last question.
sir,
Or Yebo.
can I ask based on the question we just did that was allocated 2 marks?
You can ask a question. Is it okay? What's the question?
It goes like x squared
Okay, let's see. X squared.
plus y squared
Mm-hmm.
plus 3xy plus y equals to 0.
Plus 3xy plus y equals to 0.
Yes, sir. Can you please re-explain on how we did it?
Wait. Let me confirm. Did you start with this lesson when it started?
Sir?
Denzi, is it you speaking? Oh, it's no good. No good. I just wanted to confirm if you started with this lesson.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You might need to be specific with a question because I'm not sure if you want the whole thing to be redone, or is there a specific question that you'd like to ask?
No, sir. I just want you to explain this question only.
Okay. The whole thing, you mean redoing the whole thing, or there's something specific that confused you?
You can redo the whole thing, sir.
Okay, now I understand. So in this case, no, luckily, this lesson is being recorded just so that we'll try to maximize on this 1 hour that we are having. This is what I'm going to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to post this lesson, share the link in the group. So what you're going to do is to watch that. Then, in case if you still don't understand, then tomorrow when we do the next lesson, then I'm going to ask if you understood. If not, then I will re-explain that specific part which confuses you. How about the Nogutul? Is it fine for everyone?
It's okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So actually this lesson is being recorded. So now let's have a look at this one. Let's see. It seems like we are having linear equations only. But now maybe let me pose it to you as a question. Which equation do you think is suitable to you for the purpose of deriving equation number 3? Remember, guys, you can use any, but it's preferable to use a certain equation based on certain reasons. Which one can we use and why?
The first equation.
But why? Why the first? Why not this one, the second?
Because the first equation has x alone with an invisible 1, and the second equation has x times 2y.
Yeah, so it's simply because it's easier to use that. Let's maybe try to compare. If you say x, you take that to the other side, you end up having negative 3 minus what is it? Not a minus, but a plus, because you take it to the other side and it becomes a 2y. But imagine if you then had to use that. So that means if you want to make, for example, y or x the subject of the formula, let's say you want to make x, that means you're going to have x which is equals to 20 divided by y. So you try by all means to avoid a situation where you are having a fraction. So that is why a honorable member there said it's better to use equation number en. So now let's continue with equation number 1 and use it to derive equation number 3. Remember, guys, Denzel, even you use this equation to derive equation number 3 and have those fractions, you can still get to the final correct answers, but it might be a bit tricky working with fractions. So that is why it's best to just use that. So now, this is where it gets interesting. Can you guys see that it is not advisable that in most cases you just substitute it as it is, being what? Being negative 3 plus 2y. How about we just rewrite it nicely? One member asked something there and I just explained. I'm not sure if someone remembers me saying this thing, it is actually the same as positive 2y minus 3. Just like I was saying negative, what is it, 4 plus 2 is the same as 2, minus 4. Guys, am I not losing you there? Let me just confirm that part. Am I not losing you there?
No, sir.
Okay, so that means this equation number 3, let's maybe simplify and say this is actually the same as 2y minus 3, and only say this is now our final equation number 3, which is in the simplified form. So now you take equation number 3 and substitute into equation number 2. So let's try and work it out. Let's see. That means when we see x, we are going to substitute our equation number 3. So this is where we are having x being 2y minus 3. I just want to quickly explain something here, guys. It is not advisable to have y on this side, but have it on that side. Why am I saying this? Is because, for example, if you have brackets coming first and then you punch a number, for example, this might give you an error. Try to punch on your calculator. Punch this, what looks like that, on your calculator, and then punch it again the way I'm saying it's suitable to write as that, meaning punch 2 to 4. Just for me, does it give you an error, that one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the reason to that, it is because it is not punched correctly. So that means mathematically, you are going to say, even though you start with x, which is 2y minus 3 that you substitute, then comes y is equals to 20. Mathematically, this y, we write it on that side. Then you remember what I said, we always go for brackets. So that means you're going to say that by that, that by that, meaning you are having 2y squared minus 3y. You can somehow take that to the other side and have it in the standard form. Remember, it changes a sign, and then from there, this is what you are having. So here comes a question. Is it in standard form? It seems like it is in the standard form, yes, because we're having positive in that format, everything equated to 0, meaning we can now factorize. So can you guys see, this is the stage where it is very much important that you pull out your calculator and you punch everything on your calculator using quadratic formula. So Risa, that's why I'm saying very, very much important that you know that formula by heart. In this case, I'm not going to write it down, but I'm just going to punch on my calculator so that you notice the importance of knowing that formula by heart and also being able to use it. Remember, guys, this type of equations available in all the grades, so you are advised to pay full attention. So now, to factorize, you have punched the fraction button and then you say negative into, we know our b value is -3 from that equation, plus square root of our b being -3 squared minus 4 into our a being 2, our c being -20, or the whole of that divided by 2 into our a value is 2. Can you see I'm getting 4? So with me getting 4 and positive 4, I know I'm going to have a -4 in one of the brackets. So I'm going to have x -4. Then the coolies, I'm going to go to that calculation and delete the plus, put in a minus, and say it's equals to. I'm getting -5 over 2. I'm getting a -5 over 2. So maybe let me just remind you what I've got there. It is actually the final answer, -5 over 2. I've also got a 4. So you need to work it out in reverse if you remember from yesterday's lesson. So for you to get that, obviously that's if you're having x, this one to the other side as -4 equals to 0. Then you take it as it is, you put it there. For this one to end up being that means that number, the denominator was attached to s, meaning it was 2, and then the sign, it changes because you transpose or you do the reverse, then it becomes positive. 5, this equals to 0. So it's more like from there to get to there, you transpose this -5, you divide by 2. That is why is that. Then you just take it as it is, you put it inside the brackets. I hope it now makes sense what I explained yesterday. Bulelwa, are you sure I'm not losing you there, honorable member? Have you been attending my previous lessons? Nomsa, guys, sure you're not being confused that side?
Say,
Yebo.
it becomes more tricky for me when you're doing it with your own method.
It becomes tricky if I do it using this method. Nay. Okay.
Yes.
You've got another. Do you have another method that takes you to those answers?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll use my own.
Yes. So, in case if you've got another method, continue with that method as long as it takes you to those answers. Anyone?
Sir,
Yebo.
most steps are y into 2y minus 3 is equals to 20. Akukushishimo.
Sesifi, C. Step C.
Y into 2y minus 3 is equals to 20.
2y minus 3 is equals to 20. Wait. 2y minus 3 is equals to 20. Which?
Yeah, so y. So y.
Emma Bill, Arikeri, say 2y.
So
Wait.
y into.
Oh, this one, ne? This one, ne?
Mm.
Okay. Let me quickly re-explain that one. So let's see. What did we do there? Okay, so since we derived our equation number 3, what we do is to substitute this equation number 3 into this equation. Remember, we used that equation to derive equation number 3. So this 3, we are going to substitute it into the other equation that we haven't touched. So that means here, can you see, you are actually having x which is multiplying y, and they say it's equals to 0. So what you do, where you see x, you substitute that. So that means where we see x, we are just going to substitute that being 2y minus 3. Can you see? So it's not correct to write a maths problem as inside the brackets. For example, you say 4 and then you do 2 there. You write it as 2, then the brackets after. That is why we end up saying y, we write it on this side, and then 2y minus 3, then it's equals to 20. Why tshwara no ke mang Mathapelo, why tshwara no? Okay. So now let's see. Someone has got their mics unmuted. Is it a question coming through, or someone forgot to mute their mics? Let's see.
So I think you made a mistake.
Where did I make a mistake? Let's try to trace where I made a mistake. Where did I make a mistake? Lindy, is it Lindy was speaking?
No, sir. How did the 2y go from 2x?
Let's quickly try to check. Oh yes, this letters, ne? You're referring to this letters, ne? Yes. Can you see how dangerous it could be, Bantu Bakiti? Now, I was trying to calculate for y, but now I'm talking about x. Trust me, guys, it happens. It happens to everyone. In case if you don't pay full attention, this is what could possibly happen in exam, and you might be given a wrong for that. Okay, thanks very much, honorable member, for noticing that. Meaning now we are then going to calculate for the x value, then we are done with this question. Maybe let's start with that one. We're going to say x is equals to 2, where we see y, we substitute that, and then we minus 3. What answer are you guys getting there for that one? The other one is going to be x, which is equals to, we're going to substitute with that, meaning we are going to have 2, where we see y, we substitute 4, and then we minus 3. Then what I get, this one I think it's, this is 8 minus 3, it's 5. This one I think it's 5. Maybe this one, that cancels with that. Then this is minus 8. If I have to use my head, I'm not sure if I think I got it correct. Bantu Bagit, is this the same as what you've calculated that side? Are we getting the same answer?
Yes.
Kancane kancane niyavela
Yes,
mos.
sir.
Kancane kancane niyavela. Guys, these 2 questions that we've done up to so far, they worth 6 marks, 6 marks each. So that means in case if you were in exam, you would have scored 6 marks. I'm doing the questions from past exam question papers. That is why the name itself, it says solving exam papers. So we focus more on those. Here it's another question. Here is another question. So let me quickly write it down. Someone remember to mute your mic that side. I'm not sure who's got their mics unmuted. So remember, guys, in case if you have your mic unmuted and I mute it from my side, you won't be able to participate until the end of the lesson. So in case if you've got a question, you won't be able to ask. Okay, Hamisa, did I copy that correctly? Let's see. No. I made a mistake. Can you see there? It can't be XX.
No, sir.
Yes, I agree with that no that came through. So let's see. We're having y plus x equals to 2x squared plus 3xy plus 8 equals to 0. Yes. So, guys, another problem associated with mathematics is copying the problems incorrectly. And can you see this question also is allocated 6 marks? Copy it incorrectly, I'm telling you, they are confidently going to give you a wrong because you're not answering the question that they asked. Okay, I'm pretty much sure that once we are done with all this type of questions, we won't be coming back to simultaneous equations unless I forgot the name of honorable member who was asking. In case if she's got a specific question, then we'll address that. But as we move on to the other parts of mathematics, so we are almost there, guys. We are almost there. And most importantly, let me try to quickly emphasize this part. Remember, guys, I'm preparing you to solve any type of maths problem, not only a exam type of problems. So someone, for example, especially those who were attending my lessons since last year, maybe Hamisa, I'm not sure if Mzozo is there, and also the coolies, and the others, I'm just not sure if they are there. They already know how to work out these things. They know all the tricks involved with this type of questions. But one thing for sure, from what I've discovered, I may have done this lesson before, but with you engaging, that's how we learn. I've also learned a lot from you guys because in different schools, these things are taught differently. So even though you understand the type of a problem that is being done, I'm telling you, there's somewhere where I'm going to remind you of that type of a math problem. In case if you skip lessons, maybe because you know the type of problems which are being done, there's a point where we are going to apply all of this. If I know I taught you, I'm going to let me try to do that. I noticed I lost connection. I'll need someone to just confirm if all is clear. I'm trying to bring the camera, but I doubt. Hamisa, can
It's
you
clear,
see?
sir. Yeah.
Is it clear for
Yes.
everyone?
You can
Because on
see
my
it.
side, I
Yeah.
can't see.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In case if it disappears, let me know because on my side I can't see. But quickly, what I was saying, Lindy, is that I don't know what they taught you at school. I don't know what you've studied on your own. But I'm going to teach you, assuming that you are blank, assuming that you know nothing, so that when we get to complicated stuff, I will know that I've taught you all that you needed to know. But if you skip my lessons because maybe it is easy, in case if we do complicated problems, I might not be easily, I might not be able to easily explain to you because I wouldn't know what you don't understand. So my lessons are based on an assumption that you are completely blank, you don't know anything. So just make sure that you also put yourself in that position and always remember that. Okay, so now let's try and continue. Let's see, this is an equation of which we are going to assume it to be equation number 1, and this is equation number 2. Normally, they don't specify to say this is equation 1, this is equation 2, but what I do, I always assume linear equation to be equation number 1 and then a quadratic to be equation number 2. If they're both linear, then it doesn't matter. You can just choose any. So now we can easily make y or x the subject of the formula. And this is where it gets interesting. Here comes a question. Which one between y and x is suitable to make the subject of the formula? And what could possibly be the reason for that?
The
I
first
sir.
one,
Matape,
sir.
what someone was saying something. What did you guys say there? Aliko,
It's better to use Y, sir.
someone is saying why. Do you guys agree?
I think I'm gonna make it X.
X. Okay. So let me say this. Both of you guys, you will still get to the correct answer. But sometimes if you make y the subject of the formula in that case, you might find that you can work it out quicker and save time. And if you make x, it's going to take you long. So it's more like it's a long drive. Let's maybe quickly try to do both and see. We'll just do it halfway. Let's say we make y subject of the formula. This is what we're going to have as equation number 3. Then we need to substitute it. That means when we see y, we substitute that. So that means we're having x squared plus 3, what is it, x. Then we're having into 2 minus x. Then you are having that plus, then you say that by that, that by that. You end up having what is that times that is 6, then x, and then negative that by that, it is 3x squared. Assuming that we made x the subject of the formula, let's see how it looks like. So that means this is equation number 3, and then where we see what is it, x, we're going to substitute that. Also, here, that means we're going to have sure, yeah, can you see it's now lengthy because we need to substitute there and there. So that means you're going to substitute firstly there having 2 minus y squared plus, and then you still have 3y into 2 minus y close plus 8 equals to 0 there. So now you need to do 2 of the same thing, and you still need to do that by that and continue. So I'm not sure, honorable member, if you are able to notice the difference there. It's quicker to make y the subject of the formula. Why? Because you substitute once on that equation. But if you make x the subject of the formula, you substitute 2 times, meaning 2 times the work. I'm not sure if it makes sense, guys. Do you now notice the difference?
Yes, we do.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. I'm just going to make an assumption that continuing with those calculations is the same process that we followed on the previous questions. So for this question, I will leave it there and then move on to the next question, and we just discuss it. So during exam times, we don't really show you these calculations where we go through each and every step. We just discuss it. That's how I prepared for my maths examinations. I don't really need to do these calculations. I just take a question paper, I look at the question, and I just start preaching the word of God. So it goes like, I'm just not sure if someone has got their mics unmuted. Guys, remember to mute your mics. Let me quickly check. Who's got their mics unmuted, guys? This one, I'm going to mute it. Guys, who's got their mics unmuted? Who is it? Not able to see. Hamisa, can you still be able to see there? Because I can't see on my side and I lose confidence. I think I'm just speaking and no one is able to see where I'm writing. Larissa, can you see there?
Yes,
Yes,
I
I
can
can
see
see.
everything.
Okay, then it's fine.
About
So,
the
No, sir.
this is what I was saying. You can't see.
potential about.
Okay, let me try to do something. Still the same. Okay, let me leave and then I'll be back. The video is paused. Let me do that. Something is going on. The video is paused. I'm not sure what's going on. Guys, can you see there?
No.
Sir.
It says the video is paused and I wonder. Still saying the video is paused. Can you see now on the whiteboard?
No.
I can't see anything this side.
I don't want to see it.
Nothing on my side.
The post thing, it now disappeared, but I can't see on my side. I wonder if you guys can see.
Yes, I can see on my side.
Okay, if you can see, then it's fine. Let me then do this quickly. Let me bring that and explain what I mean by the word of God. Okay, this is what I used to do. I just take a question paper and I look at that question. And I can see I've got an equation, linear, quadratic. Then here, I need to make one the subject of the formula. So it's best to use. Someone can see.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Is
it's
it
far.
everyone? Is it everyone who can see?
I think so.
Okay.
Eh.
Okay. Just to make sure that we are all on the same page, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to end this lesson and restart it again, same time. So just make sure that after it ended, you remain in the group to join again. So I'm about to end it now